Hi, kia ora, and welcome to Creative Connections, where we have beautiful, inspiring conversations with artists living in Aotearoa, New Zealand. I'm your host, Mandy Jakic. Hi, thank you for joining me. This is our second episode of Season 9, episode 168, and we are with Sur Collective. Sur Collective is an artist collective founded in 2021 out of a need to create a sense of place and redefine the space Latina artists use as migrant women in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Sur Collective are 5 gorgeous wahine from Colombia and Chile who work with different art disciplines such as sculpture, drawing, painting, textiles, ceramics, photography and embroidery. Today I'm speaking with one of the collective artists, Cat Guevara, a ceramic artist who migrated to Aotearoa from Colombia 8 years ago. We have such a fascinating chat about how Sur Collective came about and why, how it feels to be a Latina practising artist in New Zealand, and how the collective artists use the arts as a tool to connect, relate and communicate, always with a focus on bringing their heritage and a certain flavour to this land. The collective sees all of the work they do a bit like a portfolio, the work they create as individual artists, art activations, workshops, their studio space at Corbans Art Estate, installations, artist talks, community projects, as well as group and solo shows. We talk about some of the amazing Sur Collective art activations and community projects they have delivered, the ideas and stories behind the projects, what they hope to achieve from this work, and how they engage and communicate with their audience. We discuss their approaches to the funding process, and Kat has some really great tips for people applying for funding. Kat talks about her own ceramic art practice and how her work connects back to her heritage, her ancestors and her culture. She shares how she finds living in Aotearoa and how she finds the New Zealand people as a Latina wahine and what she has learnt from us, which is really super interesting. I'm so happy to have had this conversation with an artist and collective who have immigrated to Aotearoa, and I really hope to speak to more immigrant artists who are building community and relationships and developing their art practice here in Aotearoa. I hope you enjoy this episode. Thank you to Sur Collective for all the amazing stuff you do in our community and for coming to New Zealand, and also to Kate for being on the podcast. Hola, kia ora, Kat.
Hola, Mandy.
¿Cómo estás?
Bien, gracias por invitarme. Thanks for inviting me.
You are so welcome. It is really lovely to have you here. I'm so excited to hear about Sur Collective, which you're a part of, and also a little bit about your own practice. And I'm sure that we're going to get the other beautiful Latina artists from the collective onto the podcast to talk about their own personal practices as well. So I look forward to that. And welcome to the podcast.
Amazing. We're really thrilled to be here.
So Sur Collective was founded out of a need to create a sense of place and to redefine the space that you use as migrant women in Aotearoa, New Zealand. So could you tell us a little bit, please, about what this collective is and how it was formed?
Well, in 2021, we received an invitation from Juliana, and she literally put on the email, Latin American Femme Power. This was in September, and we were still in the middle of one of those lockdowns and still trying to figure it out how to keep our practice alive while we were at home, either with our partners or not being able to go to our studios. So she invited us, and we immediately say yes. Our first meeting was online, and then we said, okay, let's do something towards our first exhibition. So it was an invitation to create, but also to create towards a very specific project. This project was Magical Uprooting, a dialogue between beliefs and belongings. And the amazing people from Studio 122 opened the doors for us. This project allowed us to connect and get to know each other, because we knew each other from different places and in different circumstances, but we never worked like together before. So that was really beautiful. I know Juliana from many years ago. We first met when we were maybe 12 or 13 back home in Colombia. We met in a school trip. Then we became really good friends, but we were studying in different schools. So we lose contact. And then when we were 18 years old, we found each other again during the admissions exam to start uni. And then we realized that we were going to spend, I don't know, the next 5 years together studying visual arts. And that was amazing. It was just like beautiful. And then we finished uni. She decided to move to Aotearoa to carry on with her studies. So she did a master at ILAM and fine arts. And she started talking to me about New Zealand. And I was like, oh yeah, that looks like quite a cool country. But back then it wasn't that popular as these days. And my dad, one day he was like, oh, so you are single, you are young, what are you doing here? You should just move overseas. And he said, I found in Nat Geo this beautiful country, New Zealand. I think that is going to be quite interesting to go there. And then I told him, oh, Juliana is moving there. He was like, okay, it's sorted. You can go. I will support you. Then just move there. So she moved here. Then I moved like 2 months later in 2017. And she was doing her studies and lots of different part-time jobs. I started same as many migrants, just like working in the kitchen as a dishwasher, then caregiver, then just slowly kind of ramping up again back into arts, back into education. And well, in 2021 was when we said, let's make art collectively. Let's find our tribe again and let's connect with other women. So I think Juliana's need was mainly that. Like, I need my tribe. I need to connect with other women. And she met the other girls in different circumstances. And then I always say that she was kind of like a witch. And she was making like a magic potion. She was just like making something happen. And she put this flower, this herb, this mineral together. And then she just created us, like Sur Collective.
Yeah, and it is such a beautiful collective. And I haven't met all of the women in the collective, but I've met a few of you. And you're just, I mean, to me, you just personify everything I think about when I think about Latina women. You know, there's something so sort of gregarious and vivacious and enthusiastic and gorgeous and just like, you know, it feels all the women that I've met from South America have just been women who kind of seize the day and just get into it. And I know that that's not everybody, but there's something about it. I don't know even if it's women who've come to New Zealand and come away from the country maybe who are more like that. I'm not sure. But I just love the energy that you guys managed to create together as a group. And I've seen it with other, you know, South American women in particular. When you come together, and men, there's something quite unique about the energy that you have as a group, you know.
Yes, sometimes we talk about that and we think that it could be definitely like cultural and coming from different backgrounds. So we have at the moment 3 members, including myself, and we are all from Colombia, from Bogota. Though Lina grew up a big part in Medellin, like the second capital of Colombia. And the other 2 girls are from Chile. Romy is from Concepcion, and Jesus is from Coquimbo. And we used to be 6. Julia, she is from Argentina. She's not with us anymore in person, but she's always like present there as well. She was the photographer who took the really gorgeous portraits as our inner gods.
They're so gorgeous.
Inner goddess. Yeah, so we come from different backgrounds. We all come from Latin America, but also coming from Latin America, I think, brings definitely like fire and brings a different source of power, because you are all the time in the hustling. Not just because you are artists, but also because you are coming from either a poor country or a country that just being an artist is even harder. And you gotta be really resourceful. You need to be even more creative, I think, and work with whatever you have available. So I think when you don't have that many things, there is a really big need, a really big push and urge to do. How? I don't care. I don't know, but you are going to do it. You are going to resolve this. That's kind of like one of the things that I think really connect us, that when we come to a vision, to a project, we say, we will do it. And alongside like all of that femme power and all of that mutual encouragement for inner force, there is also, especially from Romy, like coming that the words of wisdom, like, do we actually want to do this? Is it actually worth it? Because we put so much heart and love and energy on whatever it is, whether it's an exhibition, an art activation, an artist talk, whatever is the project, we put everything or nothing. And I think that is related as well with the way that we know, like, how to love, you know, like how we go for everything. We're really passionate.
Yeah, you're very passionate. Yeah.
So whatever we do is all in.
Yeah, which is so fantastic. And how did you find coming to New Zealand and, you know, getting to know the New Zealand people and other New Zealand artists? I mean, did it feel like a huge culture shock for you?
Well, from my, you know, like, yeah, we do share migrant stories, but that relate. But at the end of the day, it's a really individual journey as well. And I was fascinated about the Pacific culture mainly. And I've been doing different like research and trying to understand how people in New Zealand look Pacifica and the relationship with the Pacific Ocean, and also how we do it with our people from the Pacific as well. And there are so many links and so many things from many, many ages, like many years ago, that we share, not just, Kumara, but all the weaving, all the pottery, all the crafts, mainly all the arts, indigenous. So to me, I think that because my connection was towards that side, it felt maybe even warmer, maybe even more like closer to my background as well. And I think it happened the same with the girls. But on the other side, when I first moved here, I wasn't sure if I wanted to continue and be still like working with ceramics, or if I wanted to study glass. And I saw that there were like many amazing glass makers here. So like, okay, that could be cool as well. And that was how first I started kind of like, again, diving into arts and leaving so many other like hospitality jobs and other things, and start back into education and using arts as a tool to communicate, to relate, to connect as well, and bringing always my heritage and connecting as well here with all the amazing migrant people that I feel that we bring the flavor, we bring a bit extra from what is already in this beautiful land in Aotearoa.
Absolutely. I think we're all very lucky to have you here. And I mean, do you find the New Zealand people quite reserved?
Yes. That's a no-brainer. Totally. I think we relate in really different ways. I've been very lucky to be here learning boundaries as well. That's something that, no way, like I didn't know that that was a thing. I didn't know that you could say to your parents, like, sorry, I'm not comfortable with this conversation. I don't want to have it. And now that I do it, well, my parents are now get used to, but before they were like, oh, you have been changing so much.
Really?
You're so rude. Like, what? What makes you think that you can not have this conversation? Like, and I think being in New Zealand, it's been teaching me lots. Like, I always say that I came here to improve my English, to move to an English-speaking country, to keep developing my practice. But not really. I came here to learn about myself, to learn about putting limits, to learn as well that, yeah, it's beautiful love, to love someone or something, but also you gotta keep some love for yourself as well and put limits even when it comes to that. So you guys are very reserved, but also you have been teaching us the power of putting limits and how that is really healthy in relationships. Is it can help you as well to build an even more sustainable love as well. And also is fascinating because you gotta like really conquer. You really need to warm it up. You really need to work to build relationships. And I remember someone was telling me like, Kiwis are quite reserved, but then once you gain them as friends, they're friends forever.
Yeah.
And these days, I'm so lucky to have Kiwi friends, like New Zealander friends, that are just like the most spectacular, especially like Wahine, that have been supporting me, that I met through maybe Auckland Studio Potters or through the Clay Center, through different studios. But now we are friends and it's so beautiful. Yeah, I love it.
That's really interesting. I mean, how do you actually see your culture? Does it sort of spread right across that whole South American continent, or is it more divided into countries, do you think? We're slightly going off tangent, but it's really interesting.
Well, I think that I can't really answer that without coming to our roots, and which is Sur Collective. Sur Collective, or Sur, means south. So we all come from the south, we all come from South America, and we are all sisters. And South America is tropical, is warm, wherever you go. It has a different kind of warmth, a different kind of color, whether you have as well, for example, like coming from Argentina with all the Italian background as well. We're coming from Colombia, which we were colonialized by Spain. And, you know, there are like different tangents there. But at the end of the day, we're a whole continent, and we believe in the like the flow, the color, the warmth as well. And it's beautiful to travel around because people even embrace that and they recognize that as our identity. Yeah, sometimes we need to tune it down a bit. But at the same time, it's so beautiful to know that colors actually make you happy, and flavors make you happy, and different music makes you happy as well as a whole human, regardless what's your culture. No, like we were close friends to Iranian woman in New Zealand, and we met them through one of the best printing festivals in New Zealand, Printopia, and through like those connections, we find so many similarities as well. So yeah, we are all South Americans, but also like that travels across like creative humans just looking different ways to relate to this beautiful world.
Yeah. It's interesting coming from New Zealand. It's hard to sort of understand. I've never actually been to South America. It's one part of the world I haven't explored, and I've always wanted to actually.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna need to buy another house to put all the amazing works that you can get there.
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh my God.
Upgrade your beautiful collection.
Yeah.
You will find so many things that relate, especially to the beautiful works from our Samoan people, Maori, like it's Tongan, is you will see everything like kind of like
the connections
making even more sense.
Yeah, I can imagine that. And you are, as you said, interested in the connections with the Pacific. How has that translated through your own work?
Wow, that's difficult. It's difficult. I think it might translate since the very beginning from a affection perspective. I will say that we love Pacific Sisters. Maybe it was my second or first year being here, and I went to the Oakland Art Gallery, and they had this amazing show. I don't think that I've ever been into such a vibrant space like that one here in New Zealand. Like, it was pure power. It was the Pacific Sisters coming back again, and they came with everything. And I knew about them, and Juli, she also knew about them, and they are a great source of inspiration for us. The way they also keep their individual practice and also work collectively. So I think everything was coming from the emotion, the admiration, and the affection. And then all the rest is being more like research and just trying to understand the Pacific culture. But also from my own practice, it's been more towards the pre-Columbian ceramics and pre-Hispanic ceramics, which it brings us back to the beginning, like indigenous peoples. Like what we were making back in the days, how we were playing with clay, how we were doing different like kind of line drawings and like these very primitive things to communicate, to relate, to weave different paths, to connect, and things that had been migrating and traveling between different indigenous from time to time and places.
And it's, you really can see the connections. And do you feel like your ceramic works or your ceramic practice has changed or evolved since you've been here?
Yes. Yeah. Like, I've been doing it myself. So of course that my practice had been as well like evolving and changing, and I get bored about doing the same. I'm not a commercial potter, though I deeply admire those makers there that can make 100 cups all the same.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to be working with Rachel Carter, also like based here in West Auckland. And I told her, like, you're amazing. Like, I love your work and it's so precise. I can't really do that. I just get bored about doing the same all over and over. And when I finish this project and I'm just looking what is next, which sometimes from an educator perspective is like, maybe that's not very clever because you're not going to be any better on that specific technique. But on the other side is like, I'm here to explore. I'm here to try different things. And every single thing and experience is as well a different source of inspiration. Like these days, after being in New Zealand 8 years and working full time as a ceramicist and educator, I have this amazing collective. But it took ages and lots of energy and lots of transformation as well.
Yeah, and lots of trust that it was actually going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. But you're doing so well that you can, that you've filled your life full time with what you love and what you're passionate about, and you've just made it happen. Could you please talk to us about the actual members and what they do? And then I'd really like to hear more about the projects that you as a collective have been involved in.
We are currently 5 different members in the collective. We have Romina, who is from Chile. She's printmaker. She's also loving drawing, illustration, and muralist. And she, thanks to her, we became across working with different projects with Printopia, this big printing festival. And we have Chile. We have Jesus, who is also from Chile, and she has a very big experience in Coquimbo. She had arts studio with her mom, and then she moved here. Well, she lived in Europe as well, and then she moved here. to do studies in Latin American studies.
Mm-hmm.
And she is a textile artist. So mainly she does painting. She's about to have an exhibition at the Homestead Galleries in Corbans Estate Art Center this August. Lots of painting, lots of weaving, knitting, like she does lots of things. Lina is from Colombia. She's contemporary embroidery artist. Her background is more into industrial design, and she has been working with different big like New Zealand business, but in her practice she does embroidery, like taking the hoop in a different perspective, like not traditional embroidery. And Juliana, who is our founder. So Juliana is object maker. She does lots of illustration and repurposing as well, like waste, basically. Just different resources to create her sculptures and different projects that she worked with. It's 5 of us. Yeah, Juliana, Romina, Jesulina, and myself.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Yes.
And how do you actually work as a collective? You obviously, pinpoint the projects that you'd like to create and then work out how you're going to do it. So how do you actually come together and make these things happen?
Sometimes we see an open call from different institutions or galleries, and we said we like the space, we like the community and the audience that they have. Why don't we develop this project? Saying that we work a lot with site-specific projects, but also we had been very lucky because lately we have been receiving different invitations. So we have, for example, mainly like art activations, just people that get different funding and they want us to be part of their projects or their events or like whatever is happening. So we have like kind of like a different portfolio of different things. One is our practice as individuals, which we always say the individual achievement or success is actually a collective success. And that's so beautiful to think about because we get super excited when someone else is running a individual show or a collective exhibition with other makers. And we just keep supporting each other. So we have our individual practice. We have our practice as a collective where we develop a specific exhibition, for example. We tend to apply for funding towards our making and how can we make things actually happening. And then sometimes we are accepted with our proposal. Sometimes they are like, no, maybe next time, and that's okay as well. And whenever we are invited to run different art activations from people that already got the funding, then they pay us as like artist fee. And these art activations are a bit more playful because we don't work with the current medium that we work with, but we get to explore different things. For example, one of the last ones was Sobremesa, or Over the Table, which was a project that was funded by the World People Culture, I think.
The World of Cultures?
The World of Cultures. And that was an activation that happened in one of the Auckland libraries. And we did different sculptures that were made out of cardboard. Jesus is amazing at doing like cardboard things as well. So we did different fruits and we kind of like make a bit of like a small feast. And over the table, there was a tablecloth that had lots of illustrations with different food from Latin America. We wanted to do this art activation because it was important to share the tradition, food and meals and fruits and vegetables that we have back home. But more than that, checking how we could relate with what we have here in New Zealand, and that also the cultural or the habit that we have that is you have food and then you stay on the table for quite a long time to talk about different things, like whether it was politics, it could be something comfortable or uncomfortable, but over the table we were having this kind of after meal moment, which is the sobremesa. So that sobremesa is where you can share a bit of a coffee or a dessert or something like that. And that was a cool art activation that we're hoping to take to so many different places with so many other different audiences as well. And also repurposing like something so cheap and ordinary like cardboard to create big bananas, giant pineapple.
How did you engage your audience with that particular one? Was it purely something for them to look at? Or, how were you sort of communicating with them?
Well, I think there is fine line, because sometimes with these kind of community projects, I will say, the arts brokers are amazing. We have been developing things with Art Southeast, the Oraki local board as well, and just like different people that are really aware of arts. They are artists themselves as well. But some of these community projects are tricky because you need to also kind of educate and explain to people that this is not a workshop. This is not like, come with me and do coloring. This is an art activation. Hence, it's not me teaching coloring techniques. It's us creating a conversation as we are making, connecting through the making. That's what it is, an art activation for us. So yeah, that it's been just like quite interesting to kind of like divide, because we do run workshops as well with very specific techniques and a very specific outcome. But with an art activation, it's more of a play. You don't really know the people that are going to be there. You don't really know if they're going to touch things or not. So this one was literally sitting on the table. Sadly, we were not eating, but we were having conversations. And because sometimes you need to kind of like give something to the people to do. Yeah. So they were intervening and they were painting the tablecloth with the illustrations. But that wasn't the point. The point was like people talking about, oh, yes, I have this in my country, or, oh, that looks like, I don't know, like a dessert that my mom was preparing in Southeast Asia, or like just so many things. And food is so rich and beautiful, and food has been traveling around the entire world. So sometimes...
Yeah, everyone experiences it.
Yeah, so it's something that... regardless the culture, will connect.
I love that. Yeah. That is such a great concept. And it's, just encouraging that conversation. And do you feel like that is reaching out to immigrants in particular, or just everybody?
I think everyone. 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 We had other art activations happening, but we usually run the ones happening with the Art Week in October, or like different things happening in the Ellen Melville Center. And the audiences change depending whether you're in West Auckland, East Auckland, or Central Auckland. But when it comes to creativity, for example, the mask making workshop, we said, okay, we need to stop doing that, because it was like, okay, can we do something else? Too many masks. Yeah. But we love that, and people love that, and it's so engaging, and you have from children to grandparents, and anyone can do it. And also it's physical, no? It's something you're going to put in your body. So who are you going to embody? Who do you want to be today? Would you be a warrior? Would you be an animal? Would you be who? So yeah, it's been cool.
I love that. It's really powerful. And then you did another project, I think, was it with Juliana, called A Place Worth Visiting. It was all around the dairy idea, and you can explain that in a second. But I just feel for New Zealanders it was so relevant, because the local dairy is such a part of our sort of psyche, especially probably a generation ago, even more so. So can you tell us about that project and how that related to those kind of things?
So, Brianna and Ashley, brokers from Art Southeast, approached to Juliana saying that it would be really good to run a project like together, that they want something happen. And then Juliana was like, okay, let's do it. And I want to do it with Cat. So I said, yeah, of course, let's do it. And we say that we wanted to talk about the nostalgia of La Tienda, which is the dairy. Because back home we have the same relationship, if anything, even closer. Like but I guess it's as well because we didn't used to move that much, right? So the people or the dairy owners knew about our family. We knew about their family as well. Names, everything. Like we have been sharing like so many years together. And back home, everyone is so friendly that it comes to a really good like proximity. Here in New Zealand, you find that when you move to the suburb or out of the city, but it doesn't really happen that much when you are in central city because of the same situation. There's so many people coming and going that it's just hard to build a relationship. So we wanted to talk about the nostalgia of those places of connection and cultural exchange as well, because sometimes you exchange recipes. If someone in the family is sick, they start, I don't know, like giving you, oh, you should, I don't know, prepare this remedy or this other medicine or whatever. So we came across that project, and it was very beautiful because we started interviewing dairy owners, which was very difficult because they are very busy. And as well, there is a bit of like like worry about robbery and all of that. With COVID, I think they were saying that during COVID they were very appreciated, but then once COVID happened, people forgot kind of about them. And they play a really important role in society. They are there behind the counter taking care of us and providing the essentials. Many of them were donating flour during COVID, visiting the elderly people. Like they were also there when everyone was at home. And yeah, it was just like beautiful to gather all the stories that are also, those stories also happen to be from migrants, no? Like generations of people that had been migrating to New Zealand. So we, of course, relate directly, thinking about that. And then with the nostalgia of finding here in New Zealand some of the lollies as well that we grew up with, and telling them, what's your best seller? Who is here in the shop with you? How do you relate with the community? What do the people think about you? How do they show love and appreciation to you as well? Do you feel that they admire what you do? Do they appreciate what you do as well? And they know all the gossips as well. They take care of the children as well. They know that they can sell, I don't know, energy drinks to certain kids. Like, it's just funny. It's really funny. It comes from pop culture as well.
Yeah.
So we got funded by Art Southeast, and we developed these at East Auckland. And then we wanted to continue with the project, so we talked to Renee from Henderson and Massey, the broker, the local board, and then she gave us funding, and we did it here out west as well.
That's so
and it's
good.
something that we still want to keep
develop.
happening. Yeah.
And so you heard the stories, and then you created like little plaques for each dairy. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. So on the first round, we did the interviews. We became very close to them, and we created ceramic plates. And those ceramic plates were a way of honoring their stories. Like, we're taking your time, we're taking your stories, we are sharing them with people, but also we want this kind of like peace offer for you. Ideally, at the beginning, we thought that was going to be like kind of on the entrance of the dairies. But I think some of them just decided to take it home and keep it in their living
which is
room
lovely.
or just and Juli did a beautiful mahi there. Like she did all the illustrations. Like we did brainstorming, thinking, picking the symbols, all the iconography and the imaginary behind the stories. But she was the one who did all the illustrations. And then together we transfer those illustrations into clay. Lots of carving, lots of painting, lots of thoughts there.
Beautiful.
And then for the second round, we made bowls because we said, oh, maybe it would be nice. They are giving us food. They provide food for us. So it would be nice to offer something that they can put on their table. We want to be part of their daily rituals. So maybe a fruit bowl or a bowl that they can serve soup or whatever. So in the second time, it was something more like domestic wear rather than a wall ornament.
And how did you communicate those stories with an audience?
We share a couple of audios. We were quite active sharing like the stories, lots of writing as well, lots of like transcript about that. And we did small publications, just printed booklets that were telling like all the stories. And on the first round with the project that we did with Art Southeast, we had an exhibition at the Malcolm Smith Gallery, and it was so beautiful to see their children. They couldn't come, like they're really busy. They just,
working.
I mean, it was hard for them to even talk with us. But some of their kids went there, and they were so proud, like taking photos of the space, and everything was for them at the end of the day. So it was cool.
That's
it was
so
really
cool. I love that. I love everything about that. Yeah, that's really beautiful. So as a collective, do you have like an online presence where you are kind of recording the projects that you're doing and you know, a sort of a central place that people can go to see what you've done?
We are working at the moment on our website. That's something has been just like lingering there for quite a while. But we're hoping to have that sorted for next year, like fully launch and hopefully party of our website. Because it's a portfolio, basically. It's just a digital portfolio where we can have everything there. Meanwhile, we are really active on Instagram. Well, not really, but as much as we can.
Yeah, you're great on Instagram.
Thank you.
Really good.
Sometimes it's tricky because, you got to have like all the digital content and then sharing that through either Instagram or Facebook or different like digital platforms that helps to connect, that helps as well to share with new people arriving to the country, like we're here, this is happening. And whenever we get projects that are funded, everything is free as well. So it's quite beautiful to have not just Latin Americans, not just women, like whoever wants to come and connect and create community with us. And hopefully if the project is funded, then it would be for free.
That's so fantastic. Yeah. And what amazing things you're bringing to the community, on so many levels. So with funding, it's fantastic. Like you said, one of the big important things is to start building those relationships and making those connections and building your reputation so people can approach you as a collective with funding. So that's part of what happens for you. But then other times, I presume, you have to go out and get funding for yourself. So how do you find funding? Have you got any tips for us? Because it is challenging and it can be discouraging. So how do you approach the whole funding process?
I think we are still, of course, learning, and there is so many. It's a really long journey, so just gotta grab a cup of tea and start. The sooner you start, the better, because at the end of the day, what you want them is to know that you exist, to know that you are doing something. And they might say, no many times, but they can say no forever. Eventually they will need to give you a little something, and then once they give you a little something, you are going to start building trust, and then you are going to take amazing photos, great videos, good recording, lots of reviews. The people need to talk about what you have done, and you somehow need to sell it to them, so you can keep all of those archives on track for your next funding application as well.
Yeah, that's so true.
I will say start with the local boards. Local boards, we have their creatives and makers themselves that are amazing. It's just like any artist that needs to work as well, and they decide to be brokers, and they do have the money. And they are really easy to talk to because they are artists. They understand your struggles as well. And they take you literally by the hand and help you out, engaging community, finding venue. And even better, they give you the money. They trust on what you do.
That's so good.
So that's a good way to start building trust, building your portfolio. And then you can go with creative communities scheme, which they are way easier to get funding than Creative New Zealand.
Yes.
We still haven't get anything from Creative New Zealand. Hopefully we'll get it soon because we have very important projects happening. But yeah, I think that is a matter of trying, writing, sharing whatever you write with someone that hopefully is not a Spanish speaker, someone that will give you also like a different ideas that will pick all of those things that maybe you shouldn't really say. Be clear as well. Just put in an Excel your time. You gotta say how much is your time. You need to say everything, how much you're gonna spend in materials. If you need to hire a venue, how much that is gonna be. Just put everything out there. It might look like very expensive, very high, that's actually the price.
That's right.
That you're going to put on your pocket. So just put everything out there. Be clear with why it needs to be in that space, why that kind of community, the budget, and then just go for it.
And once you've done a few, you can kind of use some of the words again, and there's nothing wrong with that, is there?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I guess it depends on what's the project that you are going to be applying for. We kind of shot our feet ourselves because every time we want to do something different, so we need to go back from scratch.
It's a new project.
It's a new project.
That is exciting.
But it's super exciting.
It's nice to just come up with new stuff. I think that's really motivating.
Yeah.
And as a collective, do you like to have a sort of overarching theme for all of the projects that you take on? Like, is it all sort of connecting with different cultures and communities, or how do you see the way all of the projects sort of fit together and make sense as part of your collective?
I think they all part from the need to connect, to create communities, to talk about those things that we're missing the most, and how also we value, admire, and love to be in Aotearoa. But they also kind of like change depending on what are we after, like depending on, sometimes one of us has like the idea, and then we come to the collective to sell the idea. It's like, I would love to do this project and I would love to have you involved. And depending on our availability, we will say, yes, I'm coming on board with you, I will support you. Or the other ones are going to be like, no, sorry, not at this time of the year or the or the month.
So within the collective, you can sort of break off into smaller groups depending on who's available. We
have to, because the reality is that no one is really working full-time as an artist. Everyone, like, we all work in different things. Juliana, for example, works with Do Film, which is this amazing trust that helps Rangatahi to create their audiovisual projects. So if you're a young filmmaker, these guys are going to go and support you. So she works with that, but also she's part of the collective alongside so many other projects that she takes on. So we all work, and myself, I'm educator, but also artist. So we need to kind of like juggle our life as everyone does, no? Like being an artist, being also having like a more normal or standard job as well to pay bills, and also having a house, a mortgage, family here, there, traveling back home to visit family. That takes kind of like all of our savings.
Yeah, I bet.
And then it's like, okay, when am I going to have holidays then in a place that is not Colombia or Chile? So that's always kind of like the conversation. And that's why, we sometimes we need to take turns doing, if it's a collective show, it's a collective show. But there are some projects that we like also to work in couples or
which is perfect.
It's great. It's great, and it's really beautiful to see kind of like the synergy that we have between all of us. Like we connect, and it's not just us being part of the collective. Like these days we are sisters. We like to spend time together. We're friends. From time to time, we go and have a retreat where it's not so much a creative retreat, which I would love to have that as well, but it's more like, let's just go and hire an Airbnb and chill and spend quality time together and keep knowing each other as well. We come from same country, but it doesn't mean that it's same upbringing as well.
That's right. That's so beautiful. It's so rich. Yeah. And so, I mean, you must have so many incredible, beautiful, positive experiences from having this gorgeous collective of wahine. Do you ever have challenges that you've got to work through?
Yeah, of course. And one comes with the other one, no? Like time. We're very busy, but we have this show happening. How are we going to make it happen? Or feeling that maybe, I can't really contribute that much. And then all the weight goes in the other ones that actually have more time. So I think that is quite important. And we have lots of deep conversations and cry. And we say, how do we feel? We tend to start our gatherings, encounters, or meetings in that way. Like, how do we feel? What happened this week? And then we say what happened. Emotionally, physically, what are we going through? Because understanding what moment are you happening right now, what's happening right now in your life, is going to help to understand, this is why I haven't been able to design the poster for the exhibition, or this is why I haven't been able to edit this final reel, or that's why I haven't been able to finish with the funding application. So we need to divide roles as well between us. And that's why working in a collective is so important, because as an artist, these days you will feel very isolated, and you need to be everything. You need to be your accountant, you need to be your manager, your marketer, you need to be everything. So the power of working together is amazing, because we can divide tasks. And whenever someone is absent, whether they are overseas, whether mentally they need to take a break, then we can back up that person. And it's not that they are not anymore in the collective. They are even more, and they are even more present. But understanding those timings is super challenging. I think I wasn't really good at working as a team, because I'm a bit perfectionist and I like to have the things done and fast and in my own way. But since 2021, when we started with the collective, it's been a big journey, learning, working with other makers, other wahine that I deeply admire and support and love. So I need to back up and I need to wait. Yeah, I do have urgency to do this now, but I need to wait.
Yeah.
I need to wait.
And that is a good lesson.
Yes, and it's difficult. Oh my gosh. Sometimes it's like, no, what?
Yeah.
And then I do it in a rush, and of course that I fuck it up.
And you're not happy.
It's like, no, what? And I'm not happy.
Yeah.
No,
It's
I'm
just
not
such a
happy.
fine balance, isn't it, really?
It's difficult.
And I can imagine there would be sort of tensions every now and then, even though you care so much for each other.
Yeah.
You know, different personalities, different ways of doing things.
Yes.
And it all comes down to communication, I suppose.
It does, and meeting regularly. Like we find that when we leave a big gap in between, it's too difficult to see each other again, because those making sessions that were meant to be 2 hours, 3 hours, ended up 6 hours. Because we need to catch up, we need to cry, we need to hug, we need to say sorry, we need to say it's okay, we got this. And then it's like, okay, let's go back into embroidery. What are we doing today? So we say, okay, at least every 2 weeks, we must see each other for making. And then from time to time, we have just like catch up. Or now that Juliana is in France, is just send us an audio. Just to know how are you doing, just to be connected.
Yeah.
And that helps a lot, because everything keeps changing.
Yeah.
Regardless you are just like stopping or pausing for a minute or waiting, everything keeps changing. So
And how do you work out, you know, your future projects? Do you have, does one of you come up with something and take it to the team, or do you sort of brainstorm and then figure out how you're going to do stuff, or how do you approach that?
we have kind of, well, it's not a rule, but it's organic way to work. And is, if someone comes to me with an idea, and then I bring it to the collective, generally I'm the one that is leading that project. Hence, I will keep on track the emails, the communications. I will attend to the meetings. I will make everything, all of that to happen. That's how we tend to work. Whoever brings the project to the table is going to be leading, unless needs to pass it on to someone else or step on the side. That's also an option. There are other projects that are, for example, this end of the year exhibition that is happening at the Homestead Gallery as well. So we have now, which is just the painter with Jesus, that is happening in August. And then we have our collective show, which is going to happen on the 5th of December. So for
where
where
is that show?
That one is at the Homestead Gallery.
Oh, yeah, it's there too.
Yeah. Also in Corbans Art Art Center, which is where we have our studio.
Yeah,
well.
and that would be an important part of your collective too, having like a base.
Oh my gosh, having that studio was amazing. We dream about that. We really wanted to have a space for our making.
Yeah.
And then we were accepted, and the wonderful Ilian, Leila, they opened the doors for us, and then we met like the OG West Auckland creative community. And it was like, oh, why everyone is so nice? Is this real? What do they want from us? We were like, why, honestly? And it's been overwhelming. It's been beautiful. All the things that had been just unfolding from there. So
yeah, it seems like a very cohesive, connected art community coming out of Corbans.
Oh yeah,
because they do have quite a lot of studios, don't they, for different artists to work in.
Yeah.
And then exhibition spaces, and so it's perfect. And do you come together to do your individual practices through the studio as well?
Yeah, so like the studio is our HQ where we have our meetings, where we like to run workshops for each other, where we teach to each other or share with each other different techniques or things that we have been learning. Because connecting through the making is just wonderful. You are learning, you are talking, you're having a bit of like a therapy as well, and bonding. So the studio is our place to create, but the 3 makers that are actually like resident artists from Corbans is Juliana, Jesus, and myself. But we use that space for Sur Collective.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. It's
so
perfect.
Jesus does over there private lessons, oil painting mainly, and I do private lessons as well, clay work mainly. So yeah.
So good. Can you describe your practice and maybe describe the kind of work that you make?
So the kind of work that I've been making for the last years or so, it's been super colorful. It's been more into the painting. I think that I got into a point that maybe it was like kind of like winter and I was feeling a bit cold, perhaps a bit homesick. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so far. What am I doing here? And but I wanted to paint. So I didn't maybe want it to be like all wet on the pottery wheel, too messy. Studios, in general, studios are really cold. It's hard, unless it's your own studio. Otherwise, they are very big and it's hard to keep them quite warm. So I started like painting more on top of the surface of my objects. And I've been doing that more and more, and I've been loving it. And also I think that it kind of like brings as well like a different maybe vibe to the traditional pottery work in New Zealand, which is really earthy, very ocean, very greenish, and I love it as well. But I think that people have been like quite like enjoying and liking my very colorful pieces. But what I was doing before that was working with more like monotone. And the reason being is because my mom is from Armenia and my grandma, and this region of the country is the big coffee producers. And they have lots of ceramics that are black. So the traditional black pot where they make beans was a source of inspiration. I love my grandma, Melba, and I really wanted to honor her, coming from a farm, coming from also a difficult background. And I started exploring black clay. And that was like one of my previous exhibitions, feminine reservoirs, that happened maybe 4 or 3 years ago in Depot Art Space. So I was there like more terracotta, sand color, black color. And I think that I was just trying to bring to Aotearoa like my heritage and understand this is what I stand for. Hence, I created musical instruments.
Did you?
That was really fun.
Wow.
I love it. It's
out
been
of clay?
Out of clay, black clay. I made these whistling vessels that are present in all sorts of pre-Columbian ceramics, not just from Colombia, but Ecuador, Peru, Mexico, like different parts. And these whistling vessels are objects that, well, basically is 2 bottles connected through a hollow tube, and you fill in water, and then when you start rocking them, they whistle. And our ancestors were going to the river to fill in the bottles and ask to other ancestors for something, whether it was saying thank you or ask for something. So I was like, I want to connect back to that, to my roots, to my heritage, to my ancestors. So I start creating these whistling vessels. But that is just like very different from what I do now. Like last year for our other show, Rumble of Reveries, I was making snakes, and then I'm doing lots of like colorful vases and heads. One of my last projects, it's been like jaguar heads, animal heads, lots of masks as well, and everything is just like a different exploration of identity and color. Do I want to be black? Do I want to have color? Do I want to be white? How I can, like feed still, and how I can keep bringing my culture, but yeah.
And I wonder if you'd stayed in Colombia, how different your practice might have been.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, I love Colombia. I love my country. And I was actually really happy there. Like, I was working for the Bogota Council for 5 years, managing lots of money that was invested in educational programs. So I was basically hiring makers, hiring artists to develop different projects, like teaching in the jail, working with women in exercise of prostitution, working with naughty teenagers, like really community based. And I love it. And it's been really difficult here not finding that kind of jobs. Like, well, just now that we do lots of community work, but at the beginning, I arrived and I was talking to the people from Arts Access Aotearoa, trying to understand how was the system and trying to go back into that, which I couldn't, but that allowed me to go back into my practice. Because doing those two things at the time, it can be challenging as well.
Yeah, so that was probably a bit of a blessing in ways. Yeah. And then it's almost like it kind of cleared the path for you to then come together with your wahine and create, the Sur Collective.
Yeah.
And then that sort of led on to more community projects, didn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Like I said thank you to you all there who say no to me, who never reply my email or who didn't give me the job that I thought that I really wanted, because it wasn't what I actually needed. And it takes a while. Like it takes like many no's to have a yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And coming into a new country, I mean, there's lots of different ways and systems and routines and pathways.
I know. Now I know that everything is relationships. Like whoever you meet, that's going to be your best referral. Whoever, like the connections of the people you hang out with and the good relationships that you have with people, that's your best CV, because all of the work that I've been getting is been through referral. Just like, oh, I know this person, I know the other one. And then one person had been leading to the other one. Like, yes.
And what would you say to, I mean, you've done so well finding your people. What would you say to new immigrants coming into New Zealand or artists who are coming to New Zealand? What advice could you give to those people?
I will say the same that I say to myself even these days, and that is trust on yourself and be patient. Is crazy how different the timing is. Like we're coming from very busy countries where everything happens very fast and everyone wants everything for tomorrow, for now, from yesterday, just like super fast. So things here go very slow, just like the ocean, right? We're on an island. Hello. So if you're coming here with all of your rush, you are going to have to stop, breathe in, understand that this is different. And hence you need to embrace that uniqueness and that chill and sweet ass and easygoing to go slow. And just let the waves actually take you through the path that they should take you. So just slow down, trust on yourself. And you never know, you'll meet here amazing people. And honestly, it's very open. People are really willing to help you out, to give you some support. So it's tough being far, but building your own community and building your own family here, your tribe, finding your whānau here is beautiful. It's way more rewarding than staying in your comfortable position and place as well.
Yeah, putting yourself out there. And it's almost, I can imagine when you move countries, it's almost like a sort of clean slate. And it's like you can start again as an adult thinking, who do I actually want around me?
And I love that about New Zealand. I don't know about any other country because I haven't been living anywhere else, but if there is a place where you can reinvent yourself, it's New Zealand. What do you want to be? Do you want to be an artist? Go hard. Yeah. Do you want to be a yoga teacher? There is a community there. Go do it. You want to become a nurse? Go for it.
It is true. I think New Zealand, even though we're so tiny and there's not as many opportunities and ways, I think that we are very, like, you can actually make things happen in New Zealand. Like,
oh, yes.
I mean, when I lived in the States, I couldn't believe the bureaucracy and how many forms you had to fill in and people you had to talk to and phone calls and emails and everything just to get something that I felt was quite simple done or, achieved. And whereas in New Zealand, you can think, actually, I'm going to do this, and so you kind of sign up and off you go. And I feel like it is easier in some areas.
It's crazy you mentioned that, because one of our sisters from the collective, Juliana, she just got married, and she is taking like this year to be in France with her husband. Oh my gosh, it's crazy to hear it. And they got married. They are in France, and she was saying, it's difficult to be here, because even if we are married and all of that, I still need to go back to Colombia, apply for my visa to be in France until the end of the year. And she said, I think I'm being super spoiled by New Zealand.
Yeah.
Because in New Zealand, at least you can call, someone is going to pick up the phone, they're going to tell you what to do, they're going to give you more advice. The website is easy to apply for things. And whether in France, especially, she was like, there is so much bureaucracy that is just impossible.
Yeah.
Really difficult. And that is a good reminder that we shouldn't really take for granted those kind of things.
That's right. And I think that a lot of, some New Zealanders aren't actually aware of how good we have it in that way. You know, I also lived in Valencia, and trying to enroll my kids into school was an absolute nightmare. For one, I was using my pidgin Spanish and nobody seemed to speak English at the time. And, you know, we had to go and get doctor's certificates, and we had to go and visit the council and get all this, all these forms filled in. And then we had to go and see, all these other people. I mean, literally in New Zealand, you just pop into the office at the school and put your name down and you can start. There is a simplicity to our systems, I think, that is quite good. And I think that does give people living in Aotearoa the opportunity to think, I'm going to try this project. Who do I need to go and see? And, making stuff happen, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the whole system works well when it comes to reinventing yourself. And I didn't know that was a thing. Like when you're a migrant, then I was studying English with people that had a PhD, with like people that had many studies. And then even myself, like when I came here, I was like, so this is my CV, this is my experience. And they were like, we don't know you. We don't care. We don't even know how big or small was your uni or like the company that you work with, or like, it's not about that. And it took me many years to understand that it's not about that, but it's the work that you can do here, the connections, the volunteering, the go and put yourself there. Yeah. Whatever you are doing, just go there and find the people. You will find someone. Yeah, and it's just beautiful to see that it's actually, you can see those plants and those trees that were planted many years ago. Like, that was worth it. Every single experience. Every single people that you met. And
so it's like you're sort of a community within a community within a community.
Yeah.
Which is so good. And, just thinking about your future, can you see yourself staying in Aotearoa?
I would love to become a citizen. I think that I've been investing a lot of time, energy, thoughts, everything in this land. And I would be very blessed to be a citizen, because that will allow me just to have a different passport to keep traveling, making easy, moving between different countries and keep learning, teaching. That's not going to happen until the next maybe 2.5 years or something. And New Zealand is going to be always home to me. I've been getting a bit like itchy to explore somewhere else. At the moment, I'm applying for different artist residencies, because at least it's like 3 months, 2 months, like something that is short, and then I can come back home. But later on, I don't know what would happen. I'm thirsty to keep learning. Like this year, I was like, I need to either go back to study again or do residency, or start. I think those two were my plans, but then I had a couple of makers contacting me to assist them, which is an amazing way to learn. learn from the best people. So I'm still like on that journey to keep just like learning, and I will just go wherever I see that I can keep growing up.
That's so good. Can you see yourself back in Colombia?
Not for living. I don't think so. I would love to develop different projects there, 100%. But maybe not for living. There's so many places to explore, so many cool people to meet as well.
It's so good. It's just like it's so great for New Zealand that, you know, people like you are here, and your culture, you're bringing your culture to us, and it's a gift. It's a gift for us to have that gorgeous South American sort of influence. And it's great that, you know, you do feel a little bit a part of what we have here, but you're contributing and connecting, and it's such a fantastic way to do it through this beautiful Sur Collective, which is really inspiring. And I think it's going to be really a good thing for lots of artists and people to listen to, and how to kind of approach your art practice in a slightly different way, you know, and to bring something else into your life and into your practice and your creative process. And it just seems so amazing. So thank you very much for sharing all you have done for our communities, and talking to us about your beautiful collective. And I look forward to meeting some of the other artists from the collective on the podcast at some stage. But gracias, thank you so much.
Gracias, Mandy.